What is up, guys? I do hope you're well, and welcome back to another episode of Entitled Parents. If you are new here, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe button, and maybe even notification bell. And just as a side note, I think I don't want to be too arrogant here, but I think we're on the verge of hitting 30k subscribers very soon. So hopefully it'll be tomorrow, and we've got a special video lined up for you. So stay tuned, and I hope you enjoy it. So this first post is a post from a community member. Such a wholesome, nice person, been through a lot of shit in their lives, but a genuinely beautiful soul. So let's get straight into their post. Entitled mother steals money given to me by my dying father. Just a heads up, this will be pretty long. So sadly, in this post, the entitled mother is my mother. Just a little backstory. My mum has always been abusive mentally and physically, and is basically a selfish human being. Also, because of my financial situation, I live with my mum and stepdad, as the price of renting here is just too expensive. However, I do actually pay for my own bills, buy my own food, etc. My dad was the only person who really helped me financially when I didn't have any money, and actually stopped me from becoming homeless. My mum gave me no support financially and emotionally. EM, my mother. Me, obviously. AD, awesome dad. So one day, I was looking through my bank account online because I really wanted to buy myself some merch from a few bands I really love, and wanted to give myself an estimation of how much I could spend. A few hours later, I had $300 sent to my account. I thought this was a mistake and was going to call my bank, because if I didn't, I might get charged with a whole list of things. But when I had a look at the receipt, it said, "Happy birthday, I hope you have a great birthday, love, Dad." At this point, I was emotional, because not even my mother has done anything like this, and I just respected him so much. So, later that day, I went out to get some of my favourite food to bring back, and then checked my account again. The $300 was gone. I know it wasn't me, because the total of the food I bought was $20. This is when I had a horrible feeling and thought that my mother could have taken it, as she has stolen something from me before, but not to this extent. I walked up to her, clearly pissed. "Did you take money out of my account?" "Yeah, I used it for the bills to get ahead." At this time my face was pale and I was really upset. "Did you take $300 out today?" My mother looks at me confused. "Yeah, why?" "Dad gave me that as a birthday gift. You know he's getting more and more sick, and this may be the last thing he ever gives me. But you need to pay bills here." "Are you serious? Did you hear anything I said?" "It's just money." I wanted to buy something nice to remind myself of Dad for when he passes away, and have something nice to remember him by. "Well, why don't you just ask him for more money?" "He already gave me $300. Why are you so selfish?" "How dare you? You're lucky I'm not kicking you out." I was just pissed at this point, so I called my dad and told him what happened, and he understandably was upset as well. I asked him to never send money to my account, because my mum had actually looked into my account, as I had the password already saved on the computer. I've since changed the password, and I told my mother that if she does that again, then I'll report her for fraud and theft. Oh, Riot. I don't want to say your real name on here, but that is just... As I said to you on Facebook, your mum is an arsehole, man. I feel so sorry for you, but like you said on Facebook, like you, your dad is a good soul, and you've got those great memories with him. So hold on to those and cherish those, and ignore the hate from your mum, because it's not healthy. And thank you so much for sharing your post. It means the world. Mum calls cops on daughter for kidnapping brother. So this is a story about an EM that I just happened to run into and had to deal with. This EM is my mum. Backstory. So this happened last year around May. I was at a town festival / carnival with my children, 6 and 7 years old at the time. My brother and mother don't get along well, as they both think they are better than everyone else and are never wrong. Since he turned 15, they have been at each other's throats at the carnival. I'm wandering around the carnival with my children and their father, when my phone starts going off over and over. When I answer, I hear my brother on the other line crying and begging to come stay with me. I tell him where I am, and that the only way he can come stay with me is if it is alright with our mother, as she had pulled some outrageous stuff in the past. He goes on to tell me that she has been drinking and has busted the door to his room trying to get to him. I don't know how much of this to believe, as he's a bit dramatic and tends to embellish stories. I get a call while on the phone with him. It's my mother, and before I answer, it goes to voicemail. So after I calm him a bit, I agree to hang up with him and call my mother to see if I can calm the situation a little for both of them and try to get her side of the story. The truth is usually somewhere in between their two stories. I go ahead and hang up and check my voicemail. EM is my mum. The voicemail is her yelling into the phone. "Listen here, young lady, you better not even be thinking about coming to get him. I will call the police and say that you kidnapped him or that you're trying to aiding and abetting a runaway, and you will go to jail. Don't test me." As I stand there a little shocked, I decide to call my mother and explain that I told him no, and that I would only come get him if she was completely okay with it. He may be my brother, but he isn't my child. The phone call goes something like this. I was blindingly angry through a lot of it, so the details are a little fuzzy. I apologise. "Hey mama, sorry if he or I gave you the wrong idea. I told him I wouldn't come get him unless..." She cut me off. "Unless I'm drinking? Or he wants to run away?" "No, I told him I wouldn't come get him unless you're okay with it." "Oh, I'm sure that's what you said. Well, I won't have to worry about it because I already called the cops and told them about your plan to kidnap him." "Mum, I'm at a carnival with my children, your grandchildren. I'm not coming to kidnap him. What the hell is wrong with you? You'll be arrested for this, and then you will both learn who is in charge here." At that point, I angrily hang up the phone. Since we were at a town-wide event, there are police officers out and keeping the peace. So I go up to one of the officers that I know. He was my science teacher in high school and is now a deputy, and ask him to please verify that I'm at the carnival in a public place and have no intentions of kidnapping anyone. He looks confused, so I tell him my side of the story. He chuckled and agreed to stay with me to verify my whereabouts and intentions. Turned out she did call the cops, but they came to her house, since she technically had no reason to call them. She was disorderly, and she and my 15-year-old brother were drunk. She was arrested. She had the audacity to call me from the jailhouse and ask me to bail her out. I just said, "No, you might consider it a kidnapping, and I can't take that chance. Sorry." I hope you enjoyed this post. It still angers me to this day if I think about it. My mother went to A&A and is doing much better though. Woo! What a crazy ass mum. Obviously this is alcohol fueled and she's in AA and she's obviously doing a lot better now, so I can't judge too much, but at the time she sounded like a right ass, thinking that I feel sorry for the 15-year-old as well, because obviously he was in a bad situation because he was drinking, he was drunk. Oh my word. She wet the bed, then tried to rape me. Okay, I wrote a post about this girl a little while ago and people were interested in the story, so I'm here to share the tale. This is more of an entitled kid than a parent, as she caused the problem, but it caused a lot of problems. We had a friend who was entitled as they come. Her mother raised her to be a little monster, but she'd act fakely sweet before hitting someone in the face, and no one would ever believe she was bad because her mother was besties with all of the teachers. She even claimed her daughter was removed from art classes because she was too perfect at drawing, and artists claimed they couldn't teach her anything because she knew it all. Puke. Anyway, we go on camp when we were about 14 years old. Entitled Friend was the type where every year she'd pick on someone in our group. She made up rumours and get everyone to hate them, and the next year she would be best friends with them. I wondered if it was a power play, like she was expecting them to be grateful she was being nice to them again. Anyway, this year was bullied friend year. She was really receiving it. She would be ignored or laughed at, and I'm ashamed to admit it, I thought some of the jokes were funny and laughed along. At the time I thought they were inside jokes and she wouldn't be upset, but now I realise it was bullying, but we're good friends now. So we go on camp and I'm not in their room. Nothing suspicious happens at all until we get back to school. Entitled Friend starts telling us all this bizarre story about bullied friend. She claims that one night bullied friend wet the bed, then crawled into Entitled Friend's bed and tried to rape her. Now most of us aren't expecting someone to lie about something like that, but things don't add up. I remember going to their cabin the next day and the smell of urine was not in that room. I would have noticed. Our friends had been awake all night having fun and they said bully friend was asleep all night and didn't move. But Entitled Friend was adamant she was raped. She also told the story a little bit differently each time. She had her mother come down to the school and threaten the teachers with sexual harassment charges. The bullied friend had to go to counselling for repressed sexuality and attempted sexual assault and bedwetting. And all the while, bully friend had no idea what was happening. She was never told. Entitled mother and friend had screamed rape around the school and the teachers didn't want to talk about it, only fix it. So bully friend had to be told about how she was a lesbian and abused someone, and she was confused as to why she was being told all this. Finally, entitled friend reminded her of that day, and bully friend went nuts and called her a liar and was fuming. The funny thing was, she was more offended by the lie that she had wet the bed rather than the lie that she attempted to rape someone. I think because that part of the story was less believable. We all took bully friend's side and all the problems were dropped at school. This isn't the first time she accused someone of this though. When we were in year 6, so about 12 years old, she accused my friend of wanting to rape her because she had made a rape joke. While we were a little young for such jokes, my friend was pretty edgy. An entitled friend decided it was a rape threat against her, even though she'd been listened to into the conversation. My friend laughed at her and said, "Who would want to rape you?" The last I heard, she was kissed by a boy at a party and then went home to her entitled mother and accused the boy of attempting to rape her. They went to the police. The police told her without any proof they couldn't arrest the kid. The mother went and told the parents at the school that he was a rapist and not to let their daughters near him. So yes, entitled friend, we stopped talking to her a few months after the bedwetting rape claim, had an obsession with claiming people raped her. Oh my god, that's insane. I don't get why she didn't get in more trouble though, because if she's got a history of like claiming this sort of stuff, surely there's got to be some sort of record if they've gone to the police and schools and things. There's got to be some sort of record of the claim she's making, and she must be something wrong in her head to have to keep doing that, especially at such a young age. You wonder if there's more going on in her house, you know? EPs and their bully EK finally get served. I wish this was a fake story, but it's not. This is going on at elementary school I work at. ED, entitled Dad. DT, Demon Turd, 5th grader. P, Principal, me, Bloated Manatee. For background, DT has some disease that makes him physically unwell and was short in his life. His parents think that, because his life is so difficult, that he shouldn't have to deal with any consequences of his bad behaviour and everyone should treat him like a king. Things this brat has done: stabbed himself in the stomach with a pencil, resulting in a big bruise. Said his, then 6-month pregnant, teacher pinched him. He almost got her fired before he finally admitted it was his own fault. She went on maternity leave early. He lies, he bullies other kids, he constantly disrespects teachers and aides, etc. He has his own personal aide that goes to classes with him and sits by him. Not because he's slow and he needs help, no. He has an aide because he spends too much of his time trying to get classmates in trouble. So and so hit me, so and so called me a bad word, etc. So the school wastes resources to have an adult chaperone him to protect other students. How jacked is that? The parents, namely the dad, are constantly meeting with the teacher and principal saying their son isn't being treated fairly or he's being bullied or whatever BS. Since the kid has health problems, he can call home whenever he wants to. Usually tells his parents some BS lie about getting picked on. Whenever the douchebag dad meets the principal, he threatens to sue. That's his favourite thing, to scream in her face. If our principal wasn't a woman, he would have punched her by now. He has a bad temper and the gossip says he hits his wife too. Will justice ever be served? For years our school has been held hostage by this shitty kid and even shittier ED. Our principals in the past have all laid down and taken it. But not our new lady. ED scheduled yet another meeting with her tomorrow to complain and threaten to sue. She's finally had enough. She asked me to write up an account of the incident, happened today, with DT and collected as many as she could from others whom have had incidents with him. She told us that when ED comes tomorrow and whines, she's going to rip into him and tell him his child is a menace and his behaviour needs to change. And if he wants to sue, go ahead. Here's the district attorney's number. They will be in contact with yours. The staff at the school is over the moon that finally something is being done about this mini tyrant. If anyone cares, I'll post an update when I get one. Oh, I can't wait for that update to hear what the ED is going to be like. I bet, as entitled parents do, they back down pretty damn quick. No, your son can't fly my drone. So I make films as a hobby. I was doing freelance work as a wedding videographer. I was going to get some overhead footage of the outdoor wedding using one of my drones. I have 2 drones. One is a large professional video drone used for wide shots. I can set it to orbit, etc. The other is a smaller drone that I can use for a closer shot, etc. So I'm set up with my equipment. My helper for the day is filming the ceremony and I was flying overhead getting video. When the ceremony ended, I wanted to get a final flyover of the bride and groom leaving and then follow them to the limo. Everything is going smoothly. Then I hear, "Go on, try it out. He has 2, you can fly one." EM in, enter her son. He has to be about 10 or 11 and he walks over to my other drone and picks it up. Oh no, please put that down, it's very expensive, I say, quickly taking the drone from him. He looks at me in horror and runs back to his mum. Mum comes back to the table and picks the drone up. Where's the remote? She asks. It's in my bag because I'm not using it at the moment. Well, pull it out, Henry would like to use it. I'm sorry, but I'm currently working, I use the drones for my job. That is a very expensive drone, and it's not a toy, so no, your son can't fly it. If you'd like, I can fly it and have him watch, but he isn't going to fly it on his own. I took my drone out of her hand and placed it in my bag. How dare you speak to me like that? I will have you fired, she yelled at me. Go ahead, once I land my other camera, I will be done with these for the day. I signed a contract with the bride, and your personal feelings on the matter mean very little to me. She storms off in a huff. I land my copter, lock it to the stand, and run to grab the key to the van that I left my coat inside the venue. I come back, this mum and her kid are standing by my drone, trying to get it to take off. The propellers are firing, but since it's strapped to the stand, it won't take off, which is putting stress on the motors. I run over to pull the remote away from them. Let us fly it now, Entitled mother yells at me. No, as I explained, it's an expensive piece of equipment. It's not a toy, I don't let people fly them. It can't be that expensive. I've seen these at the store for $100. Yes, but this is a professional quality one used for filmmaking. Then I showed her the price. She gave a nervous laugh and half-heartedly apologised. I told her that I'd be more than happy to fly it for them. She said no and grabbed her son and stormed off. Later at the venue, Bride comes up to me asking why I wouldn't let her nephew fly my drones. I explained the reasons. I hired you to do as I say. No, you hired me to film a wedding, not amuse your guests. I let his mother know it was an expensive drone and not a toy. But sure, he can fly it, as long as you sign a contract holding you legally liable for any damages that happen to it. Just let him fly your toy. Mum, I'm a professional, I use professional grade equipment, it's expensive, if it breaks I won't be able to purchase another one, and I have other weddings to film this week. If you can't accept that, I will return your deposit and send you whatever rough unedited footage I currently have. So she leaves in a huff, and the groom comes over. Why are you making my wife upset? Because I won't let her nephew fly my $3,000 drone. Why not? Because it's expensive, and I use it to film. He won't break it, just let him fly it. Yeah, I'm sorry, that's not happening. Now can I finish shooting your wedding, or I can refund your deposit and be on my way. Finally, father and nephew comes over. I look at him. Look, if this is about the drone, save it. He's not flying it. No one at this wedding will ever fly it. Got it? Now if you don't mind, I would like to finish what I was hired to do. The rest of the wedding went off okay. No drama. God, that ended abruptly. But how many entitled parents can you get in one story? Who goes up to like wedding photographers and stuff and asks to use their equipment? It's like, you know their equipment is expensive. That's why you hire them, because they're professionals at what they do. So why would you think it's okay to try and take their equipment and use it? It just makes no sense. Especially flying a drone. Isn't there like all sorts of public liability insurance you have to have for those drones? Because if you fly into someone and hurt them, then you're going to be liable for it. So it's crazy in all sorts of ways. But yeah, those people are just stupid. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Entitled Parents. As always, click that like button, that subscribe button if you like the content, of course. Don't click it if you don't like it, because that would just make no sense either. But if you got to this stage, I'm hoping you did like it. Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much guys. Take care. As I said, special video tomorrow, 30k. I hope. So hang around. Thank you very much guys. Take care. Goodbye.